My name is Jason, aka Bacon Chest, coach of the Kilda Serperiors, and welcome to my first group match for the Brawl for All. This is against Carney Hobo. Um, so, going into this match, I thought that the matchup looked pretty good. I thought that Frostlass could set up spikes, and after setting up spikes, Choice Banded Zygarde could put in a lot of work. Mega Gardevoir could put in a lot of work. He didn't really have a lot that could outspeed them outside of Zygarde Doggo, which I had a few things that could switch into. So let's see how it went. So we lead off with Komala and Frostlass. I'm thinking, well, he can't spin on me, so he's not really going to be able to do a lot. He can't stop me from setting up spikes, so I'm just going to set up a layer. So, yep. He gets off an Earthquake. I'm thinking, that's fine. I'm not really too fussed. Let's get off a Will-O-Wisp. We get off a Will-O-Wisp onto the Abomasnow. This becomes important later. I'm thinking, alright, let's just get up another layer of spikes as he goes for a Leech Seed. Here's a point where I decide to save the Frostlass, go into Gardevoir, which can easily take a hit. He goes back out to Komala. I decide to stop him from getting off the spin, so I'm just going straight back out into Frostlass. Now, I went for another Will-O-Wisp here, forgetting that Komala's ability, in fact, stops Will-O-Wisp from working, as he just gets off an Earthquake and I sack my Frostlass for no reason. Yeah, not the best decision, but we at least keep the spikes up, so could have got a little bit of damage off, but as you can see, it's not all that relevant, because I just go straight out to Zygarde, click 1,000 Arrows, and Komala goes away. He decides to go out to Abomasnow here. Obviously, I'm fearing the Ice Shard, so, and also Banded 1,000 Arrows isn't doing anything, so I switch out. He misses Leech Seed, a bit unfortunate. Didn't really make a huge difference to the outcome of the game, I don't think. He goes out to Vaporeon here. I go for a Flamethrower, and here's where I really should have predicted the Protect, because I go straight for the Z Bloom Doom as he clicks the Protect, and now this Heatran can no longer beat this Vaporeon, which is a bit unfortunate. So, not wanting to sort of mess around with this thing and knowing that he's probably going to be going for that Wish Protect, I just go straight out to Zapdos, goes for the Wish, as I'm just going to click Volt Switch. I don't really have a lot to hit this thing, unfortunately. He's able to get back almost up to full. Bit annoying, but we do a fair bit of damage with another Volt Switch. We go out into Mega Gardevoir, because this just entirely walls. He can't hit me with Scald, because I've got Water Absorb. Now I Mega Evolve. I go straight for the Hyper Voice, thinking that he might have wanted to Wish Protect on me, and I didn't want to reveal what I have for the Jirachi before knowing his set. So he decides to go for the Stealth Rocks. That's fine. I know he's not Scarf. That's really useful knowledge. I just go for the Flamethrower on the switch back into Vaporeon. This is just sort of a bit of back and forth at the moment, as he goes for Wish. And yeah, so we're just sort of feeling out each other's teams at this stage. He switches into the Jirachi, and predicting that this time I go for the T-Wave. That's really nice. I can now beat that thing with most of my team. It's not going to be able to flinch me down. That's really, really helpful. He goes to the Iron Head. That's doing nothing to Zapdos. Zapdos puts in a lot of work on his team at this point. As I'm able to get a Heat Wave off, he goes for an Ice Punch. That's doing nothing, because I am a physically defensive Zapdos. He goes out to the Clefable here, and here's where I go for the Roost. And here's where Carney Hobo's sets surprise me a little bit. So I go for the Volt Switch. I see that he's unaware, which is interesting, because it means that he's taking that Spikes damage. Obviously, it means he's not susceptible to a DD Zygarde, but that's why I didn't bring a DD Zygarde in case he did bring Unaware. So I got the prep right there, but as you can see, he's got that Cosmic Power. So Flash Cannon is not doing that much, especially after a Babiri Berry. He's clearly built this set very specifically to take on Heatran. And we're still doing 50% at +1, but now he's at +2, and we only do 38, so this is where the game really takes a turn, because I do 38%, not quite knocking him out. I don't actually know if that's a roll. Let's check. I think I calced that he was quite specially defensive later in the game. We become, like, relatively aware. He definitely has a lot of HP. Heatran... as if he's at +2 SPDEF, 30 to 37. So I actually did get a max roll there. Although, no, I did 38, so he mustn't be quite max. I think maybe he had about 200. So, yeah, so that was you know, a roll that was probably in his favor there, so that's alright, I suppose. Although we then get a very, very low roll, which is unfortunate. Yeah, we get a couple of low rolls as, yeah, this is quite a boring part of the battle where he's just setting up, and I'm just trying to limit his setup options. I know that he only has 8 Moonlights, which makes it very, very hard for him to end this confrontation at full. He goes for the Hidden Power there, rather than setting up anymore, which is probably fair because he is running low on Moonlights. And I finally get a Spadef drop, which is nice. And actually comes into play in a sec. You know, like, you're playing with fire there. It's a 10% chance, but, like, I got off a lot of flash cannons. It was a pretty good chance. So, I go out to Zygarde here, knowing that banded Thousand Arrows into a Hyper Voice from Gardevoir will kill. Almost certainly. The rolls were very much in my favor. And knowing that Zygarde wasn't necessarily going to be the best mon for me at this point, because it didn't necessarily beat Abomasnow if he had Ice Shard, which I was quite worried about. As, yep, I go for 1,000 Arrows, he goes for a Moonlight. That was his last Moonlight, I believe, so he can't kill me with Moonblast because he's actually quite weak and doesn't have that stored power. Yep, so now we go out to Cinderella, and Cinderella is just going to blow this thing back, and now I'm thinking that I've got a pretty good matchup at this point, because he goes out to Jirachi, I can kill this thing with a Hidden Power Fire, no problems there. Now he goes to Vaporeon, and I'm thinking this is fine, I can just Hyper Voice, does 47%, he's doing 27 with Scald, so that's nothing. I kill him off with a Hyper Voice, and at this stage, I should have won the game, basically. He brings out Zygarde Doggo. If I switch into if I switch into Slowbro here, he can't 2-hit KO me with any set. Even a Dragon Dance set, I would have been fine. I would have lived very easily. I don't even think he 2-hit KOs me at +1, and I can 2-hit KO him with Psychic. But instead I have a series of Brain Fades. And so the first Brain Fade is that I switch into Zapdos, which my Zapdos had Hidden Power Ice and Heat Wave, so it literally killed both of these mons. There was nothing he could do about that. Extreme Speed's not doing enough. Even if he had Ice Shard's not doing that much because I'm max defense bold. Instead, he gets to click 1,000 Arrows twice and kill my Zapdos, and that was just a huge mistake on my part. So I lose my win condition. But I still have a couple of win conditions, right? So I bring out Slowbro here. Slowbro, as I've said, doesn't get 2-hit KO'd by this. I now know he's banded because he did so much to my Zapdos. But at this point, this is where it starts to become sort of 50-50s. On this first turn, there is no reason for me to not click Flamethrower. I have Flamethrower, it KOs Abomasnow, so it stops him from coming in, and whilst it doesn't do that much to Zygarde, that doesn't matter because Zygarde can't 2-hit KO me, so if he 1,000 Arrows, then I can just slack off the next turn, and that's fine. And, I mean, if he had have stayed in and clicked 1,000 Arrows on my Flamethrower, then the next turn it would have been a 50-50, but this turn there was no reason for me to not click Flamethrower. And so, of course, I click Psychic. Which was just a terrible decision, and now, at this point, my only way of winning the game, which I didn't even think about at the time, would have been to stay in, click Flamethrower, kill the Abomasnow, take like 60-something% from Giga Drain, and then potentially switch out into Gardevoir, switch back into Slowbro, and hope that Regenerator gave me enough to live a hit from Zygarde. That was, I think, my only play at that point, but yeah, as I said, I didn't think of it at the time. But at this point, the game is heavily in his favor, as I just go for a slack off, thinking maybe if he's Woodhammer rather than Giga Drain. I didn't, at this point, know if he was physical or special, but he is Giga Drain. So I switch out into Gardevoir, hoping maybe I can live a Giga Drain, but not, unfortunately, after the Hail, and that's going to be GG. So good job, Carney Hobo. You made the most of what I thought was probably a matchup that was fairly heavily tilted in my favor. That Cosmic Power Clef was really effective, and yeah, so that's it for this game. Until next time, peace.